Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Native English Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Reed, coming to you from New York City. It is great to have you here today for another English learning session. Today, we're talking about getting dressed and ready for work. This is something we all do almost every day, right? But do you know how to describe it in English? Can you talk about the clothes you wear and how you prepare for your day? In this episode, you'll learn useful vocabulary about clothing and getting ready. You'll hear natural expressions that native speakers use when they talk about their morning routine. These phrases will help you sound more confident when you describe your daily life in English. Here is how today's episode works. You'll hear a short story about Lucy getting ready for work. She'll read it slowly and clearly so you can follow along easily. Then, I'll explain the important words and phrases from the story. I'll give you examples and show you how to use them in real conversations. Finally, you'll hear the same story again at normal speaking speed so you can practice your listening skills. After this lesson, I want you to try something. Think about your own. How do you get dressed for work or school? Try describing it in English using the phrases you learned today. You can write it down in a notebook or practice saying it out loud. Don't worry about making mistakes. The important thing is to practice and build your confidence. Every time you use new English, you're getting better. All right, let's jump into Lucy's story and see how she gets ready for her day.
I woke up this morning and knew I had an important meeting at work. I needed to look professional and put together. After my shower, I walked into my bedroom and opened my closet door. I stood there looking at all my clothes hanging up. I have quite a few work outfits in there. There are about 20 dress shirts in different colors. I also have several pairs of dress pants, both black and gray, on the rack. I keep my collection of blazers and a few cardigans for when the office gets cold. I looked through everything carefully. First, I pulled out a clean pair of socks from my drawer. I also grabbed some fresh underwear. Then I had to decide what to wear for the meeting. I'm not very good at matching colors, so I usually spend a few extra minutes figuring it out. I finally chose a light blue shirt and dark gray pants. They looked good together. Next, I put on my belt. It has a simple silver buckle that goes with most of my outfits. I checked my black shoes and noticed they looked a little dusty, so I took a minute to polish them quickly. They looked much better after that. I put my phone and my office keys in my front pocket. My wallet went into my back pocket like always. I put on my watch and my small earrings. Then I checked myself in the mirror. To make sure everything looked neat and professional, I looked okay, so I felt ready. I walked into my home office to get my work bag. I used to carry one of those traditional hard briefcases, but now I just use a soft leather bag. It holds my laptop, some papers, and a notebook. It is much lighter and easier to carry. Before leaving, I went back to the kitchen to grab my coffee thermos. I filled it up with hot coffee and put the lid on tight. I was ready to head out. I locked my apartment door and hurried down to the street to catch a taxi. I was running a little bit late, which happens to me almost every morning. But at least I looked good and felt prepared for my meeting.
Great. Now, let's go through that story and talk about the important vocabulary and expressions. I'll explain each one clearly so you understand how to use them. First, Lucy says she needed to look professional and put together. When we say someone looks put together, it means they look neat, organized, and well-dressed. Everything matches nicely. Their clothes are clean and wrinkle-free. You might say, "She always looks so put together at work," or "I need to look more put together for the interview." This expression shows that someone takes care of their appearance. Next, Lucy mentions opening her closet door. A closet is that space in your bedroom where you hang your clothes and store your shoes. Some people call it a wardrobe, especially in British English. But in American English, we usually say closet. You can say, I need to organize my closet, or all my winter coats are in the hall closet. Many apartments in New York have small closets. So we have to be creative with storage. Lucy talks about her dress shirts. A dress shirt is a more formal, nice shirt that you wear to work or to professional events. It usually has a collar and buttons down the front. The opposite would be a casual shirt, like a t-shirt or a polo shirt. Men and women both wear dress shirts. You could say, I need to buy more dress shirts for work, or this dress shirt goes well with my suit. She also mentions dress pants. These are formal pants that you wear in professional settings. They're usually made of nice fabric, and they look neat and pressed for men. Dress pants are different from jeans or casual pants for women. Dress pants can be different styles, but they're always professional looking. You might hear someone say, these dress pants are really comfortable, or I spilled coffee on my dress pants this morning. Lucy keeps blazers in her closet. A blazer is a type of jacket that is professional, but not as formal as a suit jacket. You can wear a blazer with dress pants, or even with nice jeans for a smart casual look. Blazers are very popular in office environments. You could say, I love this navy blazer, or she wore a black blazer to the presentation. Blazers are great because they make any outfit look more polished. She also has cardigans. A cardigan is a sweater that opens in the front with buttons or a zipper. It is perfect for offices because you can put it on when you're cold and take it off when you're warm. Cardigans are usually softer and more casual than blazers. People often say, I keep a cardigan at my desk, or this cardigan is so cozy and warm. Lucy says she is not very good at matching colors. To match colors means to choose colors that look good together. When your shirt and pants match well, we say they coordinate or go together nicely. Some people have a natural talent for this, and others find it difficult. You might say, do these colors match? Or I can't match my clothes without help. It is a common challenge even for native English speakers. Next, Lucy talks about her belt with a simple silver buckle. A belt is that accessory you wear around your waist to hold your pants up and to look more put together. The buckle is the metal piece in the front that closes the belt. Belts can have gold buckles, silver buckles, or decorative buckles. You could say, I need a brown belt to match these shoes, or the buckle on this belt is broken. Lucy notices her shoes looked a little dusty, so I took a minute to polish them. To polish shoes means to clean them and make them shiny. You usually use special shoe polish or a cloth to do this. Polished shoes look much more professional than dusty or scuffed shoes. People say, I need to polish my shoes before the wedding, or his shoes were perfectly polished. Taking care of your shoes shows attention to detail. She mentions putting things in her front pocket and back pocket. Most pants have pockets in the front and back. Men's pants usually have deeper pockets than women's pants, which is something people complain about. You put different things in different pockets. Your phone and keys usually go in front pockets because they're easier to reach. Your wallet often goes in the back pocket, though some people prefer front pockets for safety. You might say, my phone is in my front pocket, or I keep my wallet in my back pocket. Lucy says she checked myself in the mirror. To check yourself means to look at yourself to see how you look. You want to make sure your hair is neat, your clothes look good, and everything is in place. People check themselves before leaving the house before meetings. Or after using the restroom, you could say, let me check myself in the mirror quickly, Or, I always check myself before going on camera. She mentions her work bag. This is a general term for whatever bag you carry to work. It could be a backpack, a tote bag, a messenger bag, or a briefcase. The specific type doesn't matter. It is just the bag you use for work. People say, I left my work bag at home, or I need a new work bag with more compartments. Lucy talks about a traditional hard briefcase. A briefcase is a formal, usually rectangular bag that opens like a suitcase. Briefcases are often made of leather and have a handle on top. They were very popular in the past, especially for business professionals and lawyers. Nowadays, many people prefer softer bags or backpacks. You might say, my father always carried a leather briefcase, or briefcases are less common now than they used to be. She now uses a soft leather bag. This describes a more flexible, comfortable bag made of leather. Unlike the hard briefcase, a soft bag can bend and fit into tight spaces. It is easier to carry and looks a bit more modern and casual. Someone might say, I prefer soft bags because they're lighter, or this soft leather bag goes with everything. Lucy mentions my coffee thermos. A thermos is a container that keeps liquids hot or cold for several hours. It has insulation inside. Many people use a thermos for coffee, tea, or water. You can also call it a travel mug or an insulated bottle. People often say, I bring my thermos to work every day, or this thermos keeps my coffee hot for hours. She says she was ready to head out. The phrase head out means to leave or to start going somewhere. It is very casual and natural. Instead of saying, I'm leaving now, native speakers often say, I'm heading out. You can use it in many situations. I'm heading out to the store. Or, what time are you heading out tomorrow? It is a really useful everyday expression. Before leaving, Lucy locked my apartment door. To lock a door means to secure it with a key or a lock so nobody can open it from outside. This is important for safety and security. You always lock your door when you leave home. People say, did you lock the door? Or, I always double check that I locked the door. Finally, Lucy says she was running a little bit late. When you're running late, it means you're behind schedule. You're not going to arrive at the time you planned. This is extremely common. People are often running late in the morning. You might say, sorry, I'm running late. Or, I'm always running late on Mondays. It is a polite way to explain why you're not on time. Those are the key expressions from today's story. Now you know how to talk about getting dressed and ready for work in natural everyday English. Let's hear the story one more time at normal speed.
I woke up this morning and knew I had an important meeting at work. I needed to look professional and put together. After my shower, I walked into my bedroom and opened my closet door. I stood there looking at all my clothes hanging up. I have quite a few work outfits in there. There are about 20 dress shirts in different colors. I also have several pairs of dress pants, both black and gray. On the rack, I keep my collection of blazers and a few cardigans for when the office gets cold. I looked through everything carefully. First, I pulled out a clean pair of socks from my drawer. I also grabbed some fresh underwear. Then I had to decide what to wear for the meeting. I'm not very good at matching colors, so I usually spend a few extra minutes figuring it out. I finally chose a light blue shirt and dark gray pants. They look good together. Next, I put on my belt. It has a simple silver buckle that goes with most of my outfits. I checked my black shoes and noticed they looked a little dusty, so I took a minute to polish them quickly. They looked much better after that. I put my phone and my office keys in my front pocket. My wallet went into my back pocket like always. I put on my watch and my small earrings. Then I checked myself in the mirror to make sure everything looked neat and professional. I looked okay, so I felt ready. I walked into my home office to get my work bag. I used to carry one of those traditional hard briefcases, but now I just use a soft leather bag. It holds my laptop, some papers, and a notebook. It is much lighter and easier to carry. Before leaving, I went back to the kitchen to grab my coffee thermos. I filled it up with hot coffee and put the lid on tight. I was ready to head out. I locked my apartment door and hurried down to the street to catch a taxi. I was running a little bit late, which happens to me almost every morning. But at least I looked good and felt prepared for my meeting.
Thanks so much for joining me today on Native English Podcast. We covered a lot of useful vocabulary about getting dressed and ready for work. You learned words like dress shirts, blazers, cardigans, and briefcase. You also learned natural expressions like put together, matching colors heading out, and running late. These are phrases you'll hear all the time in everyday English conversations. Try using them this week when you talk about your morning routine. Describe how you get ready for work or school. Practice makes perfect, and every time you use these expressions, they'll feel more natural. Remember, learning English is a journey. Some days you'll feel confident, and other days you'll struggle. That is completely normal. The important thing is to keep practicing and stay curious. Listen to English every day, even if it is just for a few minutes. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to come back for the next one. We'll explore more everyday English topics that will help you communicate naturally and confidently. Keep learning, keep practicing, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That is how we all get better. From New York City, I'm Michael Reed. Take care, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep up the great work.